Greetings to everyone. Welcome to our oral presentation for the International Conference on Radioscience, Equatorial Atmospheric Science and Environment, and 6th Asia Research Node Symposium on Humanosphere Science. I am Juliet Berdera, an undergraduate student from Tagum College, Tagum City, Philippines. Together with my co-researchers, Reyna Gontiñas, Amor Jamero, Tejano, Labandero, and Chrislene Vitor, presenting to you a research study on the Intertidal Arthropods of Pantukan, Davao De Oro, Philippines. For the flow of my presentation, I would be highlighting the major ecological and environmental concern. Next is the research method, research findings, and lastly, the conclusion. To start with, a coastal environment is one of the biologically diverse and productive marine ecosystem. It occupies less than 5% of the Earth's land and hosts more than 45% of the global population and 75% of the world's largest urban aggregations. The intertidal zone of the coastal environment is the most spatially and temporally variable of marine habitats, according to Satyam and Tichurichi Trambalam 2018. And many species are integral parts of the intertidal ecosystem. Such as arthropods, they are very diverse and dominates both land and sea. They consist of 1.5 million species described, the largest animal phylum, and composes about 80% of the number of species. However, our marine biodiversity is clearly under threat. Habitat destruction and overexploitation represent the greatest stressors to threaten our marine species. Looking at this graph here, fewer marine species have been assessed for extinction risk. Extinctions and decline in species richness and in its spatial scale may inadequately reflect marine diversity trends. Marine locust species richness is seemingly not decreasing through time. There are, however, directional changes in species composition at local scales. These changes are non-random, as they are replaced by invaders, which may reduce diversity in space and thus reduce regional species richness. Nevertheless, this is infrequently quantified in the marine areas, and the consequences for ecosystem processes are poorly known. With a given scenario in marine biodiversity, our main research objective is to determine the composition of arthropods in the intertidal zone of Bungabong, Pantukan, Philippines, and identify the arthropods up to species level and determine the biodiversity indices. For the conduct of our study, first, entry protocol was obtained from the Municipal Environment and Natural Resources Office and Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Region 11, and communication with the nearby community was made for public information. This figure shows here the establishment of transect line and quadrats. The area is 100-meter wide and 200-meter long, located in the upper, middle, and low intertidal zones adapted to the study of Boiweco 2014. Using the transect quadrat method, transect lines were laid at 20-meter with 20-meter intervals composed of 3 stations: Station 1, Station 2, and Station 3. Each station is composed of 2 substations with 10-meter by 10-meter quadrats, alternating at 50-meter intervals. For the collection of specimen, the collection of specimen in each sampling station was done twice, day and night, during low tides. Tidal pattern was obtained from WX Tide 32 chart with 8 hours and 20-minute data recording. Opportunistic sampling by handpicking, sieving, and coring method were applied. Classification and identification of specimen. The specimens were photo-documented, including the dorsal, ventral, and dorsolateral view of the species using a Canon DSLR camera PowerShot SX50 HS. The collected specimens were thoroughly cleaned and preserved in a 70% cleaned ethyl alcohol for classification and identification, and were transported to the laboratory of Tagum College, Tagum City, for identification. Morphology of the specimen was used to initially identify the species using field guides, and verification was made by an expert thereafter. Data was then analyzed using the Shannon-Weiner Index, species richness, and evenness. So here is the result of our data analysis. To highlight, a total of 321 individuals representing two orders. Order Decapoda with 93.8% and Order Stomatopoda with 6.2%, and 15 families were recorded. Presented here is the percentage per arthropod family in Pantukan. Burudoctalidae with 5.6%, Eugenidae with 20.2%, Matutidae with 2.5%, Centidae with 1.6%, Pilumnidae with 14.3%, Apidae with 10.6%, Pinidae with 9.3%, Cramonidae with 2.8%, Oxypupidae with 7.5%, Baronidae with 2.8%, Fortunidae with 20.6%. 1% belong to family Magidae, Calapidae, Origonidae, and Protoskiridae. In figure 5, showing the Shannon-Weiner Diversity Index values of Station 1 with 2.02, Station 2 with 2.14, and Station 3 with 1.70. This indicates high diversity in each sampling station. This finding represents a moderate pollution status according to Welch pattern by Pawar and Altawaha 2017. The evenness index is computed in Station 1 with 0.63, Station 2 with 0.71, and Station 3 with 0.60, indicates that all species and the macroinvertebrate community have a low degree of evenness. This result could be attributed to anthropogenic related resources. Megalapse is also computed in Station 1 with 5.76, Station 2 with 5.39, and Station 3 with 4.81, and obtained 5.32 in 3 sampling stations. That indicates a low species richness in the area. This result could be an anthropogenic activity such as harvesting, trade, and recreational activities. Next, these are representative species of arthropods family in the intertidal zone of Pantukan, Mindanao, Philippines. Arthropods are well known for their importance in the species industries and are widely used as food items like Pinidae that are highly valued commercial species both local and international. And Fortunidae also a good source of income for local fishing communities that live in coastal areas. In summary, the most abundant species found are important species such as hairy crab, Lolinette versicolilio, swimming crab, Dalamita admiti, and red-spotted hermit crab, Calibanarius crumentatus. Species richness showed highest in Station 1 with 5.757, while Station 2 showed low species diversity with 1.953 and evenness index with 0.684. The local biodiversity in Pantukan in terms of arthropod composition is low compared to reported studies in the country. Given these findings, an immediate action is needed to prevent future threats to the coastal biodiversity. So here are the affiliations. First, we have Tagum College, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Region 11, Municipality of Pantukan, Davao De Oro, Municipal Environment and Natural Resources Office, Pantukan, Davao De Oro, and Barangay Bungabong, Pantukan, Davao De Oro. And here are references in our study. And I've come to the end of my presentation. On behalf of my co-researchers, thank you for listening. God bless.